Now, further to the polls, Guardian, the Turnbull Times today, they launched their poll of polls, their analysis of trying to work out exactly what the trends have been over the past couple of years and as we start to focus on the past couple of months. And while the Prime Minister's playing a home game on taxpayer television, the opposition leader was leading an all-star squad, Leah Finocchiaro and Jacinta Price through Alice Springs. They played a blinder today. Those two women are going to play a major, major role in the upcoming election campaign. I promise you that. So let's have a look at what they have been able to conclude about voter support via Today. The Labor Party is down from the federal election by 5.8%. The Libs are up by 3.6%. The Greens are up by almost a point. The others are up by 1.8%. If you're doing your maths, there's a fair amount left over. They don't say where the rest of that is, whether that's in the don't know basket or it's moving into places like One Nation, I don't know. Whether it's moving into independence, I don't know. But another poll showed us what could be a sleeper issue that Peter Dutton should start talking about more. And that's a policy which he announced in the budget in reply speech last year. Now, the poll, which is very clear here, and shows that the Morgan poll, in two-party preferred, it too is showing that the Libs are up, this time 42-48. That's on top of 51-49 that was there for News poll. Again, it's all about the trend. The trend is the friend. That's what we're talking about here. But this sleeper issue that Peter Dutton should be talking about, it is all to do with banning people from overseas being able to buy property in Australia. Now, I know for a fact, because people have looked me in the eye and said it, that people who have never voted Liberal would plan to vote Liberal if they thought that the Liberal Party had a plan to make it easier for kids to buy a house. Banning foreign buyers would be that. Now, the Greens have their plan. Labor, well, it's always taxpayer money. But the idea of reducing the number of people at the auction by banning the overseas buyer is a brilliant idea. I repeat, it ain't a new idea, but it's one that for some reason the opposition does not focus on as much as they should. Here was that announcement back last year.
In my 22 years in Parliament, I've seen good and bad budgets, but the budget handed down on Tuesday night is one of the most irresponsible I've seen. We believe that by rebalancing the migration program and taking decisive action on the housing crisis, the Coalition can free up almost 40,000 additional homes in the first year and well over 100,000 homes in the first 5 years.
Well, today, Sydney Morning Herald and The Age, Brisbane Times, they did a poll about what people thought of this issue. And guess what? They love it. There are very few things that the opposition has on the table outside of a rejection of the government on cost of living that is as popular as this. 69% of people support a 2-year ban on foreign citizens and temporary residents being able to buy property in Australia. 60% of Labor voters support the idea. 58% of Greens voters, almost 80% of people already planning to vote for the Coalition. But the big number is the one in the bottom left-hand corner. 73%, almost 3/4 of people in marginal seats support the idea. Now, I'm glad that they want to get Australia back on track and there's all these other things that are around, and I'm not suggesting that they don't know what they're doing, but I'm saying if something's got 3/4 of the country in marginal seats supporting it, start talking about it. Get the ads going. Force the issue. Remind people that it was your idea first, and even if the Labor Party try to find a way to match it, sing it loud and proud. It is your idea, and it is one that is seemingly incredibly popular. In fact, another question asked here is, what about making that permanent? Bugger 2 years. 47% of people say that should be the permanent law of the land. No temporary residents, no part-timers, no overseas buyers, just people that are citizens of this country being able to buy property in this country. This is great, because if it removes a couple of people from an auction who, with unlimited money, due to the exchange rate or people trying to move money out of other countries, it means that the race to the absolute tippy top in an auction slows down. Now, this policy, which is supported by, I repeat, 73% of people in marginal electorates, a majority of Labor and Green voters too, is the very policy that lefty commentators like lefty Laura Tingle over there at the ABC, remember she was so worried that this would produce mass racism. I repeat, 69% of all voters, 73% of people in marginal electorates. The issue alone could rebalance the election.
I had this sudden flash of people turning up to try to rent a property or at an auction, and if they look a bit different, whatever you define different as, that basically he has given them licence to be abused.
One of the dumbest and nastiest things I have heard out of somebody who supposedly knows better. But remember, to criticise her is bad for her and bad for the ABC. Bugger that. I'm going to keep reminding you of where they are versus those huge percentages that I've just mentioned.